Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It's a beautiful Friday today. A wonderful trading week. It's been a very interesting trading week. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. As always, I'm Atomashi Dania, Vestrado's global market analyst. It's great to have you here today. It's a wonderful evening. Of course, we are Vestrado. We are domiciled with offices and representations all over the world. Malaysia, Indonesia, Dubai, Singapore, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa. Whichever part of the world you're joining us from, welcome. Salbona, Mambo, Karibu, Dobry Pajalova. This is Vestrado. Now we're having um, single candle patterns today. Very, very simple topic that perhaps maybe um, some veteran traders in the house would already have had so much knowledge about, right? But of course, here on this channel, we're not just about theory, we're also all about applications and their usages. So let's try to sort that out. Today we're having single candle patterns and their applications. And their applications. For those of you who are joining us for the first time and you do not know about us, this is simply a live recording. So you can come back, watch, get better at trading the markets, improve, because at the end of the day, you know what? Trading is a journey. For some, it might be 3 to 6 months with a good curriculum, a good mentor, a good trainer. For some others, perhaps maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years. Yeah. For those of us who don't have so much time to invest into training and trading the markets, getting that much experience. For some other people, it might just be 1 year, okay, with hands-on, good capital and good experience to learn from. So again, no man is an island. To each his own. Again, I say welcome to today's live training, single candle patterns and the applications. What are we going to do today? As always, we're going to look at Telegram, then we'll look at the candle patterns, their types, and then we'll look at some applications of candle patterns, what they're used for, how they're applied in the market, and if we have some time on our hands, perhaps some tradable opportunities. Stick with us of input and a lot of knowledge. Okay, let's get right on it. Again, this is live, so you can ask your questions, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or veteran, whether it's pertaining to today's topic, or perhaps maybe some other topic that has plagued your mind or disturbed you as a trader. Ask in the chat section. I'll be there with you. This is simply a live recording where you can come back, watch, learn from. Okay, we are Vestrado. Let's go get on with it. Before then, let's see if we can admit a few people into the house right here. Let's try to admit a few people in here. So give it 1 or 2 minutes. There's some people trying to connect or requesting to connect. So we're doing that slowly in the course of the training. Okay, so let's look at what we did on Telegram this week. What did we cover? Look, by the way, we have financial asset classes ranging from stocks to commodities, indices, forex, okay, cryptocurrency, and so on and so forth. And we also have trainings like this on very catchy topics. For example, the most convincing signs of price reversal. You can find that on our Facebook page, Facebook. The way to access that and other social media handles of ours is this. On Telegram, you can simply input that you see there at Vestrado Global into the Telegram channel search, and you can easily find us. On YouTube, if you're here, of course, you know how to find us. On Facebook, facebook.com/Vestrado, or you can simply search for Vestrado and you can easily find us. We're everywhere, even on TikTok. Come and join us. Now, without much ado, look at Telegram. What did we do this week? We had a very interesting trading week. Okay, look, on the Monday, we had the weekly outlook, as always, summary of last week's events, what moved the markets, and we had the AUD USD weekly outlook, what to look out for. We had the NZD, the Kiwi weekly outlook, and we also had the USD CHF weekly outlook. And on top of that, as a consolation, we had Bitcoins with Ethereum. Okay. Now, what did we have? We also had gold weekly outlook. You see, we had so much weekly outlook, predictions, analysis, what to look out for at the start of the week. If you're a swing trader, your day trader, or scalper, these outlooks are very, very useful for you. We try to make them as informative, predictive, and analytic as possible. So come check them out. Now, on Tuesday, we had a brief summary of what to expect from the economic calendar. All right, the testimonies from Fed Chair Powell, the CPI data, and then four take profits from Ethereum. Outlooks given last week on Ethereum captured just Sunday entering Monday. And then we talked about that. Four take profits on Ethereum. Four, ladies and gentlemen, mighty on Ethereum. Okay, we also had Bitcoin, four take profits. While on Ethereum, we had 2,300 pips in the bag. On Bitcoin, we had about 39,000 pips in the bag. We had also all bearish take profits captured on the NZD USD from last week's outlook. We also had two take profits from the AUD USD. Okay, all on Monday alone, we had three take profits from gold from also last week's outlook. Okay, and then we had the outlook for the USD JPY given on Tuesday, the AUD USD outlook, CAD. So we give one or two pairs, or sometimes three. And then on the same day, we had the intraday or scalping opportunity, something like a signal, similar to such. All right. Advised to enter quickly and get out quickly. Okay. On this one, same thing, a second opportunity on the USD JPY. And on that same day, we had a brief outlook for the Euro USD as Fed Chair Powell testified. You can see the link right there to watch the testimony of Fed Chair Powell. Okay, we did a lot. Okay, Wednesday we had four take profits from the scalping opportunities given on Tuesday, two take profits from Euro USD from yesterday, two take profits from USD CAD from the previous day. Okay, so we did a lot. Oil, we gave the general outlook on oil. Okay, and then today Friday, we had all the while take profits all through the week, outlooks given all through the week. We had educational tip on one candle pattern. We're doing a lot. And then today, we had, ladies and gentlemen, some more take profits. Okay. So you can see right here, five take profits from AUD USD, four take profits from USD CHF given the previous day and the weekly outlook. And then we had a daily outlook on the Swiss, USD Swiss, the GBP USD, as you can see right there, and the Euro USD. We've been doing a lot on this channel. Come join us. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get right into the action. Okay, what are single candle patterns? What are single candle patterns? Now, I hear many traders say some things. Okay, before that, let's establish our topic and put that right there for all to see. Put that right there. Single candle patterns and their applications. So, there you go. I want you to ponder on that and take a while to digest everything we've said so far. If you're here, you're joining us for the first time, or perhaps a veteran trader or one of our clients, or you're just a trader just coming to know what we're doing here, and you have some questions to ask, don't be shy. I'm here for you. So let's get some facts straight. When we have our trainings like this, I like to establish some facts. And what are those facts? Number one, single candle patterns are not obsolete. Let's get something straight. Get that straight. Single candle patterns are not obsolete. They are still useful, okay, depending on their applications. And then finally, in today's trading world, we find that scalpers, or short-term day traders, or even swing traders tend to find them quite useful. I have this student, Ama, in Canada, a Ghanaian, right? So, you know, against my better judgment, she loves scalping. And then every time she scalps, she pays attention to her single candle pattern so much. Doji, the hammer, the Marubozu, and so on and so forth. And guess what? She's been massively effective at uh, applying them on a scalping strategy. So you want to be here. Listen to this. Perhaps I might show you some of the ways in which I taught her how to apply the single candle patterns. Okay. So you might want to be here for that. Okay, so let's get right on it. Now, first off, what are the types? This is just a simple recording, by the way. What are the types of single candle patterns? Now, types of single candle patterns or examples. Let's see some list. A list of some single candle patterns. Okay? The representatives rather. First you have the hammer. Next you have the shooting star. And then finally you have what? The doji. Then you have the spinning top. And then you have patterns like the Marubozu. Okay? Then we have this guy right here that signifies indecision, the spinning top. We're going to try to draw them one after the other for you. I'm going to try to draw that one after the other. Some people will say, okay, we have the hanging man. Okay, but I don't really find it so useful. We're just going to put that right there for you. So first, we're going to start with the hammer. But before we go on, let's try to admit some people in for those who want to join up. For those who want to join up, take a break, 1 or 2 minutes. Again, this is simply a live recording, nothing more. For you to come, listen, watch, learn, and try to be a better trader. Okay? I'll be with you in a minute. Just a bit. Stay with me. All right, now let's go on. Them majorly the hammer, the shooting star, the doji, the spinning top, the marbozu. Okay, I think we talked about the spinning top already. This is a repeat. The marbozu, and then the hanging man. That's six. So let's talk about the hammer. Okay, let's talk on the hammer. Good. Now, you see, the hammer, shooting star, and the hanging man, for the sake of simplicity's sake, right? For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to group the hammer, the hanging man, and um, the shooting star as one. Let's make it simple, okay? Let's not confuse ourselves. So, the hammer, the shooting star, and the hanging man. In this lecture, we will group all as one. In other words, the hammer. Simple. The hammer, okay? So what does this mean? Means when you find it, say for example, in an overbought condition after a long trend, okay? What does it signify? It tends to signify reversal. Just it looks exactly like a hammer, okay? Some will call this an inverted hammer or perhaps a shooting star, but for me, it's just a hammer. Could be this, or yeah, when you see it, price tends to reverse, especially after a long trend in an overbought or oversold condition. It could also be this. Where in this case, it could be part of a three candle pattern. All right. And you find a reversal. Okay. Next, in a downtrend, you find it after a long trend or in an overbought market condition. What do you have? Reversal, right? That's what the hammer looks like. Now, I'm going to share with you instances where single candle patterns have been found to be quite effective. Stick with me. Next, we're looking at the doji. So, for example, you find this guy in an uptrend. Doji is just like a cross. Okay. Long trend, overbought or oversold market condition. In this case, in an uptrend, overbought. In a downtrend here, oversold. Okay. If you don't know what overbought or oversold condition is, go to RSI and the applications on this channel and you'll find it. What do you have? Downtrend. After the doji forms. Okay. A reversal. You could also have it this way. Downtrend. After a long trend, or an overbought market condition, you find the doji. Okay. When you see it in such conditions, 70% of the time, you tend to have what? A reversal of price action. But the applications differ. Okay. I'm going to share with you some strategies trading single candle patterns in the market. Now, the next, we grouped three of them: hammer, shooting star, and the hanging man as one. We've seen the doji. Now let's look at the spinning top. So, say you go in an uptrend, you find the spinning top. This is what it looks like. A small body with long wick. Is named after the toy spinning top. Named after the toy spinning top. Then what do you find? When you find it, you tend to have what? A reversal of price action. But for me, where the spinning top is concerned, I like to see at least two or more spinning tops before I start to think possibility of what? A reversal. I like to see two or more spinning tops. The more the spinning tops I find, the higher the probability that price is going to do what? Price is going to do what? Reverse. Now, that's that. The next, again, I'll share some strategies with you on how to trade these single candle patterns. As I said before in the beginning of this class, I said these patterns are not obsolete. Traders rarely use them these days. I don't use them very often, except when I'm scalping or perhaps doing swing trading. I will share examples where these single candle patterns are very effective for you. They are still useful because these candle patterns came in from age-old stock knowledge, stocks, all right? And they were applied in stocks trading and were useful at the time. They were useful at the time. But in the FX market, in crypto and all that, as day trading has been progressing, we find that these patterns are becoming not as useful as they used to be. Okay? Are becoming not as useful as they used to be. We have other topics here. If you are joining for the first time, we have Vestrado, we are domiciled in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, offices and representations in these countries, and so much more. We got financial asset classes ranging from stocks to indices to forex, crypto, and so on and so forth. And we have for you spread as low as 0.4 to 0.8, depending on what you're trading, right? You can find catchy topics like this, like the most convincing signs of price reversal, how to exit the market, when to exit the market, do indicators really work? Okay, how to analyze the chart on here on our academic channel here on YouTube. You can find such catchy topics also on Facebook. The way to access our handle is simple. You can find that right here at Vestrado Global on Telegram. You can find that easily on YouTube. If you're here, no need for that. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/Vestrado. And you can simply search for Vestrado and you find us. So let's move on. Let's move on. Now, the last but not the least, which I want to talk about right now, is the Marubozu. The Marubozu. Say you have a downtrend, right? And you see a very strongly bearish candle. Okay, no wick up above, no wick down below. This is called a perfect bear. 70% of the time, it tends to signal what? A continuation of price to the downside. And this guy is simply called the Marubozu. The Marubozu. Okay. There are applications of the Marubozu. You can find applications of Marubozu on this channel. Okay. Um, find the topic volume analysis in price action on YouTube, the Marubozu. How does it form? Look, normally we have this guy. This is what a standard candle should look like. Normal candle, right? But the Marubozu tends to appear without the upper wick, without this guy, and without this guy. So, for those who are joining us for the first time, for the sake of simplicity, bullish candles on our channel are white or transparent. Bearish candles are black or shaded. So we have the bullish Marubozu and the bearish Marubozu. We don't have time to talk about that here today. Check the topic volume analysis in price action on this channel and you'll find it. Marubozus, unlike the doji, unlike the spinning top, unlike the hammer, the shooting star, or the hanging man, tends to signal what? Continuation. Okay, the Marubozu tends to signal continuations. All right, so these are the major single candle patterns I wanted to talk about, right? Now, what other main points do I want you to know? Look, back to the beginning, I said single candle patterns are not obsolete. They're not as obsolete as you think. When you start out your training, you get a lot of content on single candle patterns. But when you start your trading proper, you come to discover that, man, these things don't really work. They are not useful. Wrong. They are useful. Okay? They really are very, very useful. The question becomes, how do you apply them? How do you apply them? Okay? So, what else? I said in today's world, scalpers, short-term traders, and swing traders are find these patterns more useful than other types of traders, right? Look, especially scalpers. I'm going to put that in red. Especially scalpers and swing traders. Okay? Tend to find them very, very useful. Now, what else? How else are single candle patterns applied? For me, especially the hammer, single candle patterns are very useful in finding price rejection on the charts. Okay? Especially using the hammer. So, what is price rejection? Go to the topic volume, no, the most convincing signs of price reversal on Facebook, and you can find some topics about the topic on price rejection, talked about very extensively on Facebook. Here on this channel, you can also find setting your stop loss using price rejection in there. Price rejection was also talked about. Go there and find it. So in the area for hammer, now let me put this right there for us. Hammers are also quite useful in spotting price rejection. Okay. So we have three major uses of single candle patterns: reversal, continuations, and price rejection. Price rejection is still falls under reversal. Okay, so in that context. But for me, in the course of the past 4 or 5 years, I have found single candle patterns most effective, especially where the hammer is concerned, when applying it for price rejection. Now, what is price rejection briefly? What is price rejection briefly? I'm just going to touch upon this very briefly. So you have, say you have price head up, right? It gets to a particular level and then it feels like a taboo. That level feels like a taboo. You know when a child is trying to put his finger in fire and he goes, "Ah, he's trying to touch fire, and then when he touches it, he quickly removes his finger. That's how price ejection works. It's like a taboo, such that when price reaches a particular level, you get a very sharp drop. So you get something like this, okay? Where price has been upping and upping and upping and upping, and then a very nice hammer with a very long wick. This week, ladies and gentlemen, this week, right here, is a sign of rejection of a particular level. Hence, price rejection. Where where the longer the wick, the stronger the price rejection, right? And the higher the probability of reversal. So that's that about single candle patterns. Now let's look at some common strategies trading single candle patterns. Whether you're a scalper or you like trading ranges, whatever it is, let's share some with you. Say some strategies trading price rejection. Let's put that right there. Embolden that and underline. First, we're going to start with scalping or short-term trading, short-term day trading, right? What do we want to see? Number one, say price at the support or resistance border. Let's look at scalping or short-term day trading and reversal strategy. Okay, reversal trading strategy. So we see price at the support or resistance border of a channel. Okay, next we say plus price rejection. Price rejection in form of a hammer. A hammer. You can see where the single candle pattern comes in. Say plus RSI will be above the oversold level. Oversold. And then maybe if we're lucky, we see some negative divergence. RSI negative divergence. Right? So single candle patterns like that, this is sometimes, rarely, right? Rarely when scalping. Rarely when scalping. And then volume breakouts. Volumes in favor of the predicted direction. Okay? And then maybe for those who like moving averages or MACD trigger, okay, say you want to see trigger on, say, moving average trigger, right? This is a strategy using single candle patterns. Quick pace trading. Let's put that right there. This is usually a strategy quite employed quite commonly for quick pace, fast pace trading, scalping, get out quickly, get out quickly, very fast. Okay, get out quickly, very fast. Employing single candle patterns. I have a student who does this, but in the case of RSI overbought or oversold, she likes Bollinger Bands. She likes Bollinger Bands. Let's put that strategy right there and bring this one in. Here, in case of the RSI, she uses Bollinger Band breaks at upper or lower band. Okay. Let's take this away. Say she wants to see volume breakout. And then maybe an MA trigger or MACD. So this is another strategy for fast-paced trading involving the application of single candle patterns such as the hammer in a channel. Within a channel. So I hope that is clear. So this is that. And then a strategy perhaps for swing traders. In the case of swing trading, let's put that right there. We have long-term trading strategy. Okay, swing trading. Where in this case, maybe first we want to see price at a significant resistance or support point. Okay, or perhaps maybe uh yep, price at a psychological level. Okay, and then perhaps let's make this bigger. There you go. Price at psychological level. And then all these, once it hits the psychological level, we want to see price rejection in form of a hammer. Okay, single candle pattern. You can see that. Another application of the hammer right here. I love the hammer so much among the single candle patterns. Okay. Then the rest, right? Since it's swing trading, long term, applying higher time frames, it's possible to see the RSI overbought or oversold. And it's also possible to see the RSI negative divergence. Say that's what you want to see. You want to see divergence. Okay. say negative or positive divergence. It's important to put that right there. Okay. And then we want to see, as always, volumes in favor of predicted direction. Okay. And finally, perhaps MA trigger, MA or MACD trigger. By MA, I mean moving average. So this is one strategy that can be employed in swing trading where single candle patterns are used. This is simple, okay? But the key component of this strategy is the price rejection. And I'm going to put that in red right there and perhaps make it bigger. Same thing this guy. Without that price rejection, such a simple strategy becomes useless in my trading experience. The key component, okay? So let's start about that on single candle patterns. Now, as always, let us go to the charts and see what we have in store, what the market has got in store for us. The market has been very beautiful. We've got some very beautiful opportunities. It's been very rewarding this week. I cannot smile enough. If you've been with us on Telegram, you know we've had so many take profits. I think we've had about 30 or maybe 33 take profits this week. Be on the lookout. I'm perhaps going to do all that addition and add up for tomorrow, but you can check the Telegram channel and the take profits on today's outlooks if we actually hit all that. So let's go to the charts and do some applications. Okay. Now, scalping. Scalping. Look, I'm going to look for a perfect example for you where a single candle pattern played a very nice role. Look, channel. You see the beauty about channels when scalping? Price is moving in the range, so you can be sure that there's going to be a reaction around a particular level, right? I love channels and rectangles. I love trading them so much. So let's go there again. Look, nice channel right there. Let's try to zoom in. What do we have? Price hit a particular level. On the 5 minutes chart, this is significant. You see the long hammer right there. Oh, you see the long hammer. Price rejection. Price rejection. What happened here? Was this a significant resistance point at a time in the past? Let's see. Let's see. No. But guess what? Guess what? It's the resistance point of a channel. So let's go back to our strategy right here. Let's go back to the strategy. Okay. Look, the first one I gave you applying the channel is this. Price at the support or resistance border of a channel. One, you see we hit that. Second, let's mark that. We hit that nicely. Trading is beautiful. Next, price rejection. Oh my bosom. Oh bosom, as he said in Russian. Oh my God. We hit that very nicely. Presence of rejection. Now, was there RSI overbought, oversold? Do we have anything like that? Let's go to the charts and see. Now, I'm going to put my RSI. Oh, trading is life. Look, et voila. Where we have the swing high, The RSI markedly above the 70 watermark right there. RSI overbought. Is there divergence? Let's see. If you connect this high right here, so let's give it the red line. Let's give it a clear red. Yeah. Reduce the extension. Connect the highs. And connect the same highs on the RSI. Oh my goodness. Negative divergence. Negative divergence. Et voila. You see that? Very nicely placed. So, I get a lot of questions, especially from my students personally, as to the applications of single candle patterns, how useful they really are. Okay. My students who are scalpers apply this strategy very effectively. The way I apply it, okay, for many scalpers, single candle patterns are just so effective because it's simple. Okay. And there's a common saying in the trading world, keep it simple. The simpler, the better. Now, you can see that negative divergence. Let's go back to our strategy. Let's go back to our strategy. What do we have? We saw RSI overbought. Et voila. Price, negative divergence. Yes. Now, were there volumes in favor of a reversal? Were there volumes? Let's get back. Let's go back there. Let's go back there. So, where we have the negative divergence, the swing high right there, the resistance border of the channel. Let's mark the resistance border so it's clear for you. There you go. The resistance border of the channel right there. Now, with their volumes, let's take away the RSI. We're done with this guy. Now, there are several ways to assess for volumes. We see something similar to an imperfect Maribozu right here, indicating strong volumes, and this guy also indicating strong volumes. But if you're an indicator lover, oh, look at the area of the hammer right there. You had a massive drop. Look at the volume. Trace the vertical line down. I'm going to move it a bit so you can see it. You can see that the volume here, this guy and this guy, almost twice the length of the previous volumes before it. And this guy, twice the length of this guy. And what do we have? Higher volumes. Presence of volumes right there. Okay. Up until the support border of the channel, right around here. What else are you looking for? So, volume, tick. Now, do we have an MA trigger? Let's see. Which MA should we use? Let's use 7 and 10. The fast MAs, right? The fast MAs. 7, we're going to give 7 the black color. And let's make it exponential. And you can see that right there, the black thin line traveling all the way. And let's give that maybe a thin red. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Perfecto. Mwah! Look, the cross, the 7, which is a black thin line, cross to the 10. That's the red thin line. And that's called what? The trigger. Right there. Let's try to zoom in on that. This guy right here, the trigger. Maybe we take away the ellipse. Okay. You see that right there? The trigger. So let's go back to our strategy. Did we tick all that effectively? Simple yet effective for volumes. Yes, tick. MA trigger, tick. All 6 pink cows on our structure, tick. And what did we have? Reversal of price. Trading is life. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the sake of time, we've done quite enough. Um, for the sake of time, let's go into trade opportunities. What to trade going into the weekend for crypto, and perhaps maybe next week, some trade opportunities to be had. Let's look at the markets, what the market has got in store for us. I hope you learned something today. Okay. Now, what do we have for GBP USD? This guy has been very tricky today. Okay. GBP USD broke above 3600 significant level, went beyond 1.3700 significant psychological level right there. And then what did he do after? He formed the heads and shoulders pattern, as you can see, with the three solid circles right there. And then we said, okay, a break below on our Telegram channel, we said a break below 1.3720, which is this guy right here, this common support point, would see price touch upon 1.3700 psychological level. And it did that very nicely. Congratulations to you if you traded that. Okay. Now, going into next week, right? If price breaks below this significant swing low here, from what it has formed this week, its next most likely target could be 1.3671. Okay. But you see, the momentum here, as you can see, is quite bullish, very strongly bullish. So there might be a continuation to the upside. Okay. So if price is able to head back above 3720, then for me, my next most likely target will be 3740. If price heads back above 3720, right there, then my next most likely target going up will be 3740. Okay. And then perhaps also the psychological level of 1.3750. This is GBP USD. Now, Bitcoin going into the weekend. What do we see? Bitcoin has been moving within a range. So it formed a rising wedge and then formed the range after. You can see price has been struggling to break strongly above this range and below it. So for me, if price breaks significantly below 106,280.4, then my next most likely target on Bitcoin will be 105,911.1. If it goes below that, perhaps 105,371.5. But if price happens to head back above 107,842.5, then we could see it touch upon 108,203.1, above and above that 109,341.9 right here. Okay, for Bitcoin. What's my outlook? Am I bullish, bearish, or neutral? Right now, I'm neutral and I'm waiting for a breakout of these levels. Ethereum. What do we have on Ethereum? Okay, we have gold. Let's look at gold first. Gold is looking very peculiar. Um, let's talk about that a bit. So at first we spotted that it's been struggling very strongly to break below the 50 MA. Look, every single time it struggles to break below the 50 MA, all the while, all the way back to maybe September 2022, right? But let's see, let's mark those significant points. One, two, every time it touched, it just refused to break past the 50 moving average, right? 50-day moving average. Next, we see right here also playing around it. Okay. Here. And then, look, this guy has been setting itself up nicely for a bullish run. It's been strongly bullish because of the Middle East crisis, Russia-Ukraine war, okay, Trump, US-China tariff war, and so on and so forth. It's been like that. But guess what? So we said on our outlook, we said if price breaks so strongly below these levels, its next most likely target will be 3251.9. At this point in time, I'm not entering. I don't advise you to sell anymore. It's already too close to for comfort below the 50 MA. So what you're looking for right now is um, a clear break of this significant swing low with volume. This guy, this guy, this guy. Let's make it clearer. So if you put the line right there, you see significant swing low here, here, and here. If price breaks strongly below this level, okay, and maybe we have a further de-escalation of Israel-Iran conflict, okay, and more stability between US and China if they agree to a deal, all right, peace treaty, for example, between any of these scenarios, Russia and Ukraine, we could see gold drop to lower levels, perhaps to 3200 psychological level. And if it goes below that, maybe its next most likely target would be 3165, 3166.7. But if it heads back up, for me, the bullish scenario will be if it heads back above the 50 MA. So the 50 MA right now is acting as resistance. Okay. If it heads back above it with volumes, then my next most likely target would be perhaps 335, 3362.74. And maybe above that, we should look at 3389.8. And if you want to be adventurous, perhaps 3423.3 for gold. Okay. What's my take? I'm waiting for breakout of these key levels. Price is looking strongly bearish right now. It formed a triple top. One, two, three. The major neck of this triple top is this guy right here. Major bearish positions might be initiated at the break below that. Look out for that. But it doesn't mean you can't trade in between before it. There are good opportunities to be had before that price level. That's for gold. For Ethereum. But right now, going into Monday, look, Price seems to have formed an engulfing pattern, a bullish engulfing pattern, right? And there's been a very sharp drop. So what we might see is this. If we have price break strongly below this strong bearish candle right here, okay, for smaller targets, then for me, I most likely sell to scalping. I most likely sell to 3263.5 to be safe going into Monday. And if it goes below that, then my next most likely target, ladies and gentlemen, will be 3257.2. If price heads above for short-term targets on gold, again, this significant swing high, okay, as you can see right here from the trend line, or we use this guy, if it breaks above the trend line and above the significant swing high, then for me, my next most likely target would be 3290.6 for gold, okay, and maybe if it goes adventurous enough, perhaps the 50-day moving average on the 30 minutes chart. This is gold. Ethereum now, this young man on the weekly chart formed three. Look at how it's, look, we predicted this guy was going to drop. Count how many. These are single candle patterns. So today's topic, look, doji, inverted hammer, all single candle patterns. And what level right there? Okay. Recover the fair value gap. So going into the new day, Ethereum, for those who are weekend traders, I'll call this my major support area 2360.0.